Usually I'm pretty sad, like when Christmas comes and there's we're live.
We're live. We're talking about our Christmases.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, we were talking about snow, and I'm okay if it doesn't snow here this year.
Yeah, but you're in Idaho. Isn't it supposed to snow in Idaho?
Yeah, but it's okay if it's a little bit of rain too. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just very cold rain.
Yeah.
Yes, Sunday when Scott and I were doing our show, people were reporting in, and it was 17 below zero in Minneapolis.
Nope.
No.
That's not okay. Oh, Richie's here.
Richie. Hello, Richie. And I'm going to let a little more build up, but so what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the 20 questions I've been asking all different kinds of psychics, and I think I have over 30 of you now in my little and we'll go through the questions and just feel free to answer what you want and fill in and tell as many stories about being a reader or whatever. Just what is it that exactly that you do?
It's a very, very good question. Whenever somebody's just like, "What do you do?" and I'm like, even Richie, I'm like, I don't know what I do. But yeah, I have a language that emerged in Sedona, Arizona 10 years ago. So I've been working with that, and when it emerged, I have this really great community. I was already working with light work, Reiki. So I was able to go back and be like, oh my God, I have this language. And then we found out it had healing properties, for the people who would come to our healing circles. So that was really lovely. So I do the light language. I also am like a physical empath where I can feel things physically for other people. Work on that. I have visions. I went to shamanic energy medicine school with Alberto Vialdo, which was
cool.
Yeah, that was a dream come true. It happened he has classes like in 4 different places around the world, and he just like going to my favorite place, and I had a small RV camper, and he was at Joshua Tree, and I got to camp out at Joshua Tree, and yeah, every day from like when the sun came up to after the sun went down, it was just all like playing with energy and learning this and learning that, and it was amazing for a whole month. Yeah. So I do some of that. That's mostly like contract work. But yeah, I mix everything together. I'm a Reiki master. But yeah, when someone you can see on my YouTube channel, one of my favorite things is to help people when they have a gift come up, like emerge, and they don't know. I really like being there for them because, like, for instance, if you have a light language, it's spoken, and there's so many dialects and sounds and harmonics. If you don't have some of these people that are having this happen, they don't have a spiritual community yet. Or if they do, they're a little bit nervous, to like speak it. And I don't know about you, but I've just been noticing like the brave ones stepping forward. They're just like, okay, this is my authentic self. So here with it.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to start with, we've got enough people in the chat now and watching us that we're not going to leave a lot of people in the dust. Okay. When did you first realize you might have psychic abilities?
Actually, when I was a kid, I would have night terrors because I thought somebody was watching me. And I was just talking to my mom about this. She had it when she was growing up too. And then one time I saw somebody at the foot of the bed, which just scared me. He like had a knife, super scary. And at that moment, I think I pretty much shut it down because I was just a kid. And And then,
I'd shut it down if I was an adult. What do you mean?
yeah, I can be a huge scaredy cat with that stuff for sure. But yeah, that scared me. The night terrors, just where you like can't move and you don't want to breathe, and that slowly went away. But then I got into Reiki, and that was the gateway into so many different things. It was my I started growing like my spiritual community.
Mhm.
Then it just went from there.
Yeah, Reiki is definitely a gateway drug.
Yeah, it really is. I loved it.
Is there a single aha moment for you, or did your things kind of gradually build over time and you learn how to accept them?
Um, it's a really good question. I would say that things came in things came in pretty hot. Like
Mhm.
boom. Like when I got my first Reiki attunement, which I recommend for everybody because it's not a huge time thing and it's not a huge amount of money, and then you can work on yourself. And
Mhm.
so I got my attunement from this group of like this in this group of my spiritual friends, and so it was familiar. And the people graduating were the ones giving the symbols and the initiation.
Mhm.
So they went around and did it, which was great. And then the owner was like, "Well, you've all paid for this, and so I'm going to also give you the symbols."
Mhm.
No, it was a double whammy. And I went home, and it was like so
Mhm.
it went from like not that to like this fire hose of energy, and I had like an energy hangover the next day. And from that moment, it was not all unicorns and rainbows. It was. Did you ever have any ascension symptoms when you started?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I ended up on a heart monitor because I thought I was having heart attacks,
Yeah.
and he at the end, fortunately, I went to a cardiologist whose aunt is one of the largest astrologers in India.
Oh my goodness.
And so when he found out what I did, he said, "You're not wired like we are." And he could see stuff. Among other things, my machine went off in the middle of the night, and they called me the next morning and said, "Why did you take the thing off?" And I said, "I didn't." And they said, "Well, something must be wrong with it." So I had to send it back in, and they sent me another one to replace it. And they said they'd report to me what had happened. And he said, "The machine didn't go off. You left."
Oh my god.
Yes. And those kinds of things,
Yeah.
unless you have a really good doctor and when you're working in that world,
Yeah.
that can really mess you up because then they'll start putting you on pills and meds and things.
Yeah. Yeah. So I also I ended up in an ambulance with heart issues. And,
Hmm.
mine was electrical, and it took a really long time for somebody to figure out what was going on.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um but
Yeah.
yeah, ascension symptoms for me were like um feeling, just feeling nauseous. And sometimes I would just be like, I'm like, I'm just going to stay right here on the bathroom floor because I feel like I'm going to throw up. And then my other comfortable place was with the covers over my head. That seemed to really help sometimes. It was like things that people might not know if they haven't experienced it. Yeah, it's like you can get headaches, you can feel dizzy, you can like all of these emotions come through. And when you have somebody that you can text or call to be like, are you feeling this too? And uh,
Hmm.
so not all unicorns and rainbows.
No,
No.
no.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And you explained you had some unusual experiences as a child. Looking back on them now, how do you see them differently?
I really wish that the that New York medium Teresa, yeah, Teresa Caputo.
Caputo. Hmm.
I really wish there were more people earlier that did that, because it was a lot of Hollywood type stuff, like the scary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, I wish I had, somebody who had helped my mom, and then she could have helped me, and um, maybe foster it from that moment on. But I can also see through my life, like the people that there was always somebody off to the side that could help me.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know it right now, like looking back, I'm like, oh, they were in my perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Just really nice to know, because going forward, I'm like, okay, there's always somebody there to help.
Well, how did the people around you react when you shared your experiences?
Again, super lucky. It just happened that my husband, who's very understanding and supporting, but he's not into the woo woo.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of like that warrior adventure spirit guy. But he was with me in Sedona when my language emerged. He was actually, I feel like if he hadn't been there, then it would have been a completely different story, because he was right there with the energy worker, working on me together as I released a past life. And
Mm-hmm.
I released that past life, the whole language came out, with like
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So he knew, and he already knew that I was a little, a little like
You're
cuckoo.
unique. It's called
Yes,
unique, sweetie.
very unique. And then when I went home, my mom and dad were there, so I just shared it with them right away. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my kiddos, while we went on this beautiful retreat. But yeah, my mom, I can see her eyes kind of glaze over, um, in fear. I could just see like that wall when I start talking spirit stuff. Like I can talk oracle cards with her, but she had such like kind of scary. Like one of the most loving things that happened to her is when my great grandfather stepped out of the physical. He visited her
Mm-hmm.
moment, and then she got the phone call. So that's like a positive thing she holds on to. But like there's certain people I can talk to, and there's just some people that, um, you know, at least my mom like will let me talk. you know, I just actually worked with somebody yesterday who their light languages are emerging, boom, 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 and she was talking about like a really close friend, her mom, a boss, and I was like, wow, you're really brave.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you can't put it back. Like these people who don't accept your true authentic self, and they feel like they need an intervention, like those, you can't put a gift back, when it's you really love it, first of all, and
Mm-hmm.
feel like, oh, this is who I am, this is what I do. And um, yeah, did you have anybody who is like, did you have any issues with that?
Um, Weirdly enough, the first person who told me that I was special and that I would see and know things and that I needed to understand that was a Catholic nun,
Wow.
which is like everybody went to Catholic school. Oh my God, they beat us in the corner for this. Not mine. She told me a whole experience she had as a young nun, and a spirit showed up for her and it told her that she'd succeed no matter what. And she said, "You need to understand these exist because they're around you."
Yeah.
And I always had adults that understood. Now, within my family, my mom thought because I would just pull stuff out of the air and talk to people about places I'd never been. Um, anyway, um, they would, my mom would get really angry. One time she spanked me, and then the woman I'd been talking to, I told her, well, I can't talk to you because my mom's going to spank me again. And that woman went in, man, she raised holy hell with my mother.
Oh, wow.
She said she has a gift. She knew what she was talking about. She was not making it up whole cloth, or she was pulling it out of my mind, but it doesn't matter. She was not lying. She was not thinking that she didn't know what she was talking about. So my mom's experience was she could see death. And as I have experiences as I grew up where she intervened in my one friend's life and helped her bridge to her mother right before her mother died.
Hmm.
And no one, it was like a total accident death. It was like nobody knew that was going to happen. I was in high school, and my friend told me about it when I was 50. She said, "I'm so glad your mom took me aside and told me that." And I'm going, "My mom, what? What?
Yeah.
Helen was doing what?" Okay, when you began to realize you had talents, did you seek training? You said you went to Sedona and places like that. Did you do much work on your own?
Okay, this is a really good thing to talk about because, um, okay, so Reiki, awesome. But when my attunement happened, my hands were cold and everybody else's hands were hot.
Mm-hmm.
The instructors had never seen that before, so I thought I had done something wrong. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so thinking about that, I should have just known that that was my way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes classes can have that effect where maybe you feel like the way you're doing it just naturally, it's good to take a class, but maybe know that your thing is your thing too.
Yeah.
So when my language came out, it came with this group of people that I call tuta, which means teachers in my language, and um, they were like instructing me on how to do all of this really cool stuff in nature. And when I was working on somebody, like a bird would fly in, and because I was working on my sister one time, and I'm like, hold on, this may sound weird, but I think more birds are going to come in before we do this. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
the birds came in, and my sister's like, are you effing kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was doing all that stuff, but I was also like, maybe I would like to learn from somebody in the physical too. And
Mm-hmm.
I went to Alberto Vialdo's school
Mm-hmm.
to learn like earth medicine, and I loved that experience. But I wish I had explored my thing maybe like a year or two more without any external influences, if that makes sense.
No, that I'm sort of self-taught. I
Yeah.
was handed a deck at 12 and I could read it and understand it. And I don't know, well, obviously I know how
Yeah.
past life stuff, but at the time. And so all the things I did were kind of on my own. And, a book would just appear. And so I did a lot of learning on my own. But I took an astrology course from a real astrologer because
Mm.
ain't no way I'm going to figure that one out on my own. Um, anyway, what specific tools are most a part of your practice?
Also, you've got really good questions. So the tools that I use, I am like a sticks and stones girl. I have like I'll trip over sticks and stones
Hmm.
in my thing, but I have a lot of crystals. I have a drum. I had this really beautiful person in my life. He stepped out of the physical a couple years ago, but he would make me rattles.
Okay.
So, and then I have some cool things by another person from Sedona who does like shamanic tools, which would just be pretty much like something you would wear, like with
Hmm.
a crystal of some sort. And but then I did, after a while, I really loved having those things. And I felt like they were very loud, like take me, use me, put me under the table. And I still get that. But I also know that if I'm out and about, um, I only need me, and like what I channel was something that I learned like, I don't know, 8 years after that.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really good if something pops out while you're
Yeah,
you're on vacation somewhere.
You've mentioned that you had mentors and teachers. What's the best advice they gave you?
Hmm. Best advice they gave me. I think it was just the really, really listening and helping me foster things. So it wasn't necessarily one thing that they said. It was just that what I really honored was they didn't tell me everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess the biggest thing for mentors was the discernment of like what would help me and to hold back on some things until I'm like, aha.
Guess
uh,
what happened? Yeah, we were expecting that.
yeah.
Okay. And how did you learn to tell the difference between psychic impressions and your own imagination?
Hmm. How do you, yeah, like how do you feel like you're not crazy when you have another language come out? You're just like, wait a second.
That would do it.
Do I need a doctor? Like
Mm-hmm.
what's happening here? What is the difference? I guess it's just Um the knowing and then having like your community. Like I did not experience visions or any of that until when I was in Reiki. I took Reiki 1, I took Reiki 2, and for the people who are like caregivers and helpers, I call us the first responders. Like if we hear something, we're like, "What
Mm-hmm.
do you do?" And so Reiki 2 is when you get the long distance symbol, so you can help your family who lives in another part of the world. But yeah, the I'll probably forget what I'm talking about. What was the question?
Okay. The question was, how do you tell the difference between psychic impressions and your imagination?
Yeah. So we started this class. My teachers taught Shinrai healing, and that helped foster the difference because there would be like the Reiki energy chair, and then there would be the psychic chair. And everybody avoided the psychic chair for practice because, you know, the things you come up with like are you're just practicing in the beginning, so you're not super great at it
Mm-hmm.
get anything, but I loved going to that chair because I was like, oh, if there's a possibility I can do this, I want
Mm-hmm.
to share. And then people started being brave and they went into the chair and yeah, some of the stuff I got right, some of the stuff it was just like kind of funny and we all laughed together, we played together. But and then you get the validation and the feedback from
Mm-hmm.
working with. That's how I saw the difference between it.
Yeah, it's one of the trickier things that we live with when we do what we do. Were there moments when you really doubted yourself?
Oh my gosh, yes. I definitely have like self-esteem issues. Um, but knowing that that happens, but yeah, the having people validate really, really helped me out. And if I like see something and I say something and they're like, "Oh my gosh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that really helps too." So self-esteem is definitely something that is a challenge for me, and especially if you, especially okay. So like this is like the best online community. Like
Mm-hmm.
I, yeah, there's so many people here that you can reach out to. So that part is lovely, and I look at the people in my life and I'm really fortunate for the online community because I've met so many amazing people. And it's like they're the ones that kind of balance me out. And, even Richie in the comments here,
Mm-hmm.
Richie would tell me like these things and I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like
Mm-hmm.
really, really helps having, yeah, having people, just say, this is what I felt, this is what I saw.
Okay.
Hmm.
And how do you handle skepticism from yourself and from others?
Oh my gosh. So with the self-esteem stuff, I I would get like, I was on Debbie Freebird Spirit's channel. She's my friend. We
Mhm.
Tuesday, my other friend Nicole and I would like get together and do spirit stuff because we live near.
Mhm.
And so I was on her channel, and it was fairly new. She had been on YouTube for a while, and she invited me on with my light language. And there was like a really nasty comment, um, and that really hurt, you know. And then I got like another comment somewhere else. It was never on my channel, but it was always when I went on like somebody else's channel, and there would be like a not so positive, like, what is this? Like, I'm gonna watch you anymore if you have this stuff on. And then interviews, some interviews, like the comments were really mean, but I just recently, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter, because I don't know. I just grew like a thicker skin or something, or realize it's on them and not on me. Um, like, if that's not their thing, that's fine.
Mhm.
I'm not for everybody.
Well,
And
you're
the same
you're
for,
much more polite than I am. When people get that kind of nasty,
yeah.
I usually think it's their own fear, and I just have sympathy for them because to
Mhm.
live with that kind of fear means you're never going anywhere.
Yeah. And not being welcoming of like other things. Like, for me, I know when I listen to other people's light language, not the people who come to me, because I love that, and I tell them, since I'm sensitive to it, they'll speak or do whatever their light language is. It doesn't have to be spoken. It can be all sorts of different things. But I'll tell them how I'm experiencing it, and that's so cool, that collaboration. But if I'm on like YouTube and something pops up with light language, like, some of it's not for me. I'm just like, oh God, no. But other people love that language. It's not my frequency. That doesn't support me.
Well, the other thing is one of the skepticisms I used to have was I'd sit down at the table at the wine bar every Tuesday night and I'd set out all my stuff, get all my crystals arranged, light the candles, do all the stuff.
Mhm.
And then it inevitably went through my head, what if it doesn't work tonight?
Yeah, yeah.
This is gonna be a long evening. Um, and I'd sit there and I remember the last time I thought that, I said,
Mhm.
what if it doesn't work tonight? And my guides just yelled in the back of my head, read the damn cards.
Yeah,
Don't worry about any of the other stuff.
yeah,
We'll take care of that. You just read the damn cards. So,
yeah. It's so good to have that team say that to you. Like, that's the thing too. Like, I went to Debbie Freebird Spirit, and we're part of like this New Mexico retreat.
mhm.
My first retreat, being on the other side of it. and and I was just like, oh, how's this gonna go? And as soon as I like got in there, like, the language came through, and I'm actually super comfortable during things. And then
Mhm.
I'm just like, uh-oh. I'm like, I wonder how that went. um yeah,
Well,
it all
it's
worked.
I've met Debbie Freebird. I
Yeah,
met her yeah, and still kind of sort of lockdown time, but I was visiting my friend in Colorado in Denver, and Sheila brought her over. They came over from where they both lived when they were living close to each other there. And Debbie, if for people who don't understand this, Debbie is the tiniest person in the world. I'm 5'4", and I'm taller than this woman.
Oh wow.
And it was I did a special thing that night. Each person took a stone out of a bag I had for them. They took a crystal out and then they rolled it into a form that I had on the table. And then I interpreted where their stone fit and where what it was about. And we talked about the reason all of us were there that particular night. Now, not to say it was just any old night, but it was the day that the feds walked into Mar-a-Lago and found all the files.
Oh, wow.
And Sheila and Debbie were like, I'm kind of glad I'm here because if I was home, everybody wanted me to be up. And I said, this is not going to be over for a long, long time. And even at that time, I had no idea when I said long, long time, what a long, long time I meant. But it was a lot of fun. She's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely one of my I definitely hold that friendship dear. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Have your abilities gone through weak and strong phases?
Oh my God, yes. Another great question. Okay, so there's this in between time that terrible. The in between time, I'm just like, wait, what happened? How come this isn't working anymore? Am I turned off? And expect
Mm-hmm.
language comes like and emerges like boom, and it's there, and you're just like, I don't know how long this is. Why did this come through? I don't know how long this is gonna stay. And but yeah, 10 years later it's still here. But yeah, the in between times, once I realize I'm in the in between, I'm okay. But before
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm just irritable, super grouchy. I'm like, why isn't anything spiritual happening? And then it's like I realized that that was just the rest. It's just a resting time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've experienced it comes on strong, and
Mm-hmm.
stop talking my language, and my whole family understands. That's usually when I try to record, if it will let me record, because
Mm-hmm.
special frequency that's coming through. But yeah, in between time.
Well, we don't expect marathon runners to run a marathon every day.
Yeah,
We don't even expect them to run it every week.
yeah,
You know, we need to be in training. We need to keep what skills we can keep up, but we're not going to do the whole big long race.
yeah. You know, okay, so that's something I don't want to hear. But I just had a reading with my mentor, because when my language came out, I was in Sedona at a retreat with her name's Carissa Schumacher, and she's the one who was doing it. And then so this my whole group, my whole team Tuta stepped back when I was in Sedona with actually Richie here at Debbie's retreat that she was running. Like Tuta's just like, okay, we're stepping, you've graduated, we're stepping away. And I'm like, what? And yeah, that was kooky, and I totally lost my train of thought again.
Okay, now we're talking about weak and strong phases.
Oh yeah, I still don't remember what I was gonna say,
That's
but
okay.
I have
Do you
eight.
have any idea what causes those shifts
Which shifts? The
from weak to strong or strong to weak?
um, let me see. Hmm. So I want to say, so I have an idea of what I want to say, but it's like kind of further back. But what I'll say is like when you're like swimming in a lake, and
Mm-hmm.
you have like those warm spots and those cold spots.
Mm-hmm.
I know some things that can affect it for me is if I'm near like an energy imprint. Like we used to travel a lot through the whole United States with a business that I had, and we would be driving by some place, and I would just start crying, and
Mm-hmm.
or I'd have to like get out of the car, do a little bit of energy work because it's energy imprints of something that happened there. And it's not like Mother Nature needed it cleared. It was just time for whatever that was to kind of go through its composting. It was just like
Right.
hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's definitely spots and times where it feels stronger or weaker, but that's more environmental. Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's good to know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you protect your energy?
Okay, so how do I protect my energy? Water. Water helps me. And then I'm still learning. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Okay, so I'm still learning about like how to take care of myself. That's what I was gonna say.
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to hear what you were talking about with like the body and the long distance runners because my mentor, Carissa Schumacher, I just had a reading with her. Like, I have this new thing coming, and what's your insight? And she was like, okay, this is more crystalline energy coming through, and it's very clear, it's very precise. And she's like, I've never really talked about the physical body, but you need to get ready. And I'm like, I could totally understand how, with a new pitch and a new frequency coming in, that, you know, I need to act a little bit more kind. I need to have better choices with my physical and, make sure that when I get tense that I go for a walk or I go sit out by
Hmm.
the tree and just self-care,
Right.
self-care, self-care, self-care. But I also really like sitting on the couch. So
Well, yeah, and the problem is that the messages come with the vessel. So if we don't take care of the vessel, man.
I know I don't want my head to explode.
Do you have any go-to rituals that help you?
Um, I actually feel pretty protected um, without paying attention to it. That works for me. It doesn't work for everybody.
Hmm.
Um, when I do feel like something's gotten through whatever unconscious thing is surrounding me, um, then I will reach out to somebody to help me. Like I just got a reading when I was in the chat with somebody, and it was Terry and somebody else. Oh, Gail. It was Terry Renner and Gail, and Gail does a lot of the. I think it was Gail, but they were like, oh, there's like, something in my light body, like it needed to be repaired, and
Hmm.
through and did that. That felt amazing. So um, I don't do the rituals that a lot of people do.
Hmm.
For me, I don't like find out what works for you out there.
Right. Try all the different things and see. You know,
Hmm.
some people it's holding certain crystals, some people it's holding certain breaths, depends on who you are. Okay, now we're going on to the real reason I ended up sort of doing psychic profiles is what you were talking about is a whole lot of people are waking up
Yes.
and
Yeah.
all of a sudden we're here and now what the hell do I do with it?
Yeah.
And so this next section's more or less about that. And it's our psychic abilities innate or can anyone develop them?
I I don't know, but what I will say is when I practiced something that I was really passionate about being involved with, like I loved getting readings, I love energy work. Um, that when I would practice and had like the space to be like goofy, silly, right or wrong, that really that really helped me. And I didn't have any psychic ability that I was aware of before.
Mhm.
But I do feel like Nancy Jean, that like I said it before, like the things that are emerging right now, like they are bypassing like the um it seems to me like they're just bypassing like the learning curve, and it's like boom, here I am. It's like, wait, where's your ascension symptoms? Like, wait,
I
what?
had to suffer. Why aren't you suffering?
Exactly. I'm such a little kid with that stuff, like hello.
Well, you had bad ascension symptoms, so
It, yeah, yeah, that heart thing. I want to ask you a question. I don't mean
sure.
to hurt, but when you had your heart issues, um
I
what
didn't have heart issues. My
uh,
doctors didn't like the way my heart was behaving. My
oh,
heart was doing what it was supposed to do.
oh, okay. Yeah.
But you go on and ask your question about because
Oh,
they ran me. They started at the top, went to the bottom. checked everything electrically within my body.
And it was okay.
Mhm.
Okay, that was just my question, because when my stuff came out, it was like a spiritual two by four, because I needed to. What happened was, because of that, I stepped out of my company, um, because it was stressful. It was on the road and just very busy. It was like we were food vendors at large outdoor events like Bonnaroo, Coachella, NASCAR even, and it was like we had to hire 100, like 100 people for the event that we've never been around before. You have to
Mhm.
show them everything and um, prepare. It was just very stressful. It was stressful. It was fun, but it took a toll on me. And so once my heart issues came around, I let go of the past life that I had with the Trail of Tears, the language emerged, and that was my spiritual two by four. I stepped out of something that I probably wouldn't have stepped out of. It changed.
That works.
Yeah, it changed my course.
And how has your work changed your worldwide view or your beliefs about life and death?
Yeah. So when my language emerged, it I was aware that it was not for humans, but it would work with humans. It
Hmm.
was mostly for the earth. Something about a crystal, which just emerged 10 years after my language came out, like
Hmm.
with this crystalline energy. And I had this feeling. They were telling me like we come in at the end, and I'm like, and most of the readings that I would get from my mentor at the retreats were like, I was like, oh, I got this vision of this tree with black bark and gold leaves. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's like an end of the, like the end of the world stories. And I'm just like, why the hell am I keep getting this? I'm like, I am
Hmm.
not the end of anything, girl, you know? And
Hmm.
so I really had to struggle with I I'm going to stay tight-lipped because I don't want chaos and this and that. And then finally, with the help of somebody, it was this really cool machine that like this light went on your third eye. I forgot what it was called, but I saw like all this geometric stuff, like the stuff behind you, all these
Hmm.
colors and shapes. And but then at the end of it, I saw like chaos and ruin and, earthquakes and fires, and that and I saw a hand reaching out to help somebody. And I'm like, oh, we already have chaos. Like, it's already here, JJ. And it's like
Hmm.
when something like the flood, the earthquakes, it's like that's when humans change the most. It's
Hmm.
like what a butterfly goes through to become a butterfly. It's like everything gets all screwy. And so I had to be okay with just knowing like what my part was, and I'm not super important in the whole big story.
Hmm.
So I just do what I can do to help, but I also look at current situations um, as something, one, that I don't have any control over. I do know, like, I surround myself with people that are interesting and supportive of what happens out there in communities. And when I look at somebody who has a different like opinion, I space out a lot because they're like blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, they think I'm listening, or sometimes I will listen, and that's what they needed. And but yeah, the chaos is going to happen, and the growth is going to happen, and I'm just JJ. I can't really do anything about that except be who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And um, what's one of the most powerful readings you've ever done, and what made it so memorable?
Oh. Hmm. The most powerful readings. Hmm. There's a couple that come to mind, but honestly, I used to do a lot of one-on-one where they were physically in my healing room. And those were very strong and really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That it could be done with this online community as well. Like my favorite, most powerful thing is when um, you can see it's the same thing with like the Long Island Medium with Teresa. And you see like that moment where like the energy or the message really helped their inner healing happen. It's just that moment of like, oh, okay. It's not like I did that. It was like I channeled something that might have had a frequency that helped them and their frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the most potent, most powerful. And why I do this is because the person receiving it gets to have like the most amazing healing. It, it's the best thing in the whole wide world.
Good.
Yeah.
And how do you deliver sensitive or complex messages? Do you have a strategy when you're going in and
Yeah.
you're going, how do
Yeah.
you do that one?
Oh my God, I had to do that. I had to do that because I'm just like, I can't be all unicorns and rainbows, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever I see it, I say it exactly as I see it now because I would try to sugarcoat something I was seeing and that wasn't the message that was popping out. Now there's also the discernment that I really appreciated that my mentors had. So I just check it out and see like um I don't try to like um I don't sugarcoat it what I see. Like I just told somebody the other day in an online reading that, I see yourself in prison, and why did you lock yourself away? And that might they understood it. But if I had tried to sugarcoat that, like, oh, just find the key, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I think you like being locked up. And I think that's probably appropriate for you right now. And
You don't want the damn key.
yeah, you don't want the key, And so yeah, one time I was in a pickle where I had two people I was reading for, and it got a little sticky with like the love relationship stuff. And I'm like, you know what? They asked me, I'm gonna tell them. And again, it's not me. It has nothing to do with me.
I
So
know.
yeah,
Brave person, you're reading couples together. Woo.
only that once.
You learned.
I did. Yes, I did.
What advice would you give someone who's just starting to explore their gifts?
Community. Definitely. If you guys are here and you're seeing us talk right now, you're already a part of it. Um, I learned a lot from being in the chat. Um, and I would be listening to like the people that were on the screen, but I was also became friends with the people in the chat. And,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's have your people. Definitely have your people. If you could have your people like where you live physically, that's awesome too. But if you're like a hermit or I have a lot more online friends than I do here in the physical. I mean, here where I live. Yeah.
Yes. We're not talking about the ones on the other side.
No, no. I'm only friends with people who are spirits.
What do you wish you had known earlier?
Wish I had known earlier. I really wish, like, I love the question of like, what would I tell my younger self? And
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't tell my younger self like what's coming because I just wouldn't do that. But what I would say is that you're going to go through some times where you feel really lonely. Um, because I feel like I didn't really understand humans. Like at high school, I was so scared in high school. I loved learning, but like the whole social thing, not for me. I wish I had been homeschooled, but I needed to do that. I dated some people who were not the best for me, but it got me to where I needed to be. And so I would just tell my younger self, like, yeah, you're going to go through some ups and downs. You're going to be really lonely, even though you're like around people. And just know like it gets better, is what I would say.
Yeah, I think say that to any teenager. That's
Yeah.
a pretty firm promise.
Hmm.
Any daily habits or exercises you recommend?
I'm just really terrible at that, Nancy Jean. I'm not one to give advice to anybody
I
about.
don't do that either. People say, "Oh, go meditate," and I'm thinking about all the times I started to meditate, and I went, "This is BS. I'm not doing this right now."
I guess, yeah, I guess that's the answer is like find what your thing is.
Hmm.
I'm like squirrel, I can't
Hmm.
but I do know when I listen to, I have my silence headphones, and I'll
Hmm.
do like, there's like a couple artists that really help me like turn everything off. And for me, turning everything off is important. Like I'll go, some of my favorite stuff is swimming. And that means like when I'm underwater,
You
uh,
can't
I
hear.
can't hear anything. It just is dense and I can't hear anything. That's good for me.
Okay. You've been to several different courses and classes and stuff. How would you explain to someone to find a trustworthy psychic community or mentor? I'm sorry about the ice machine in the
Sorry.
background. That's my daughter. But she lives here too.
Okay. Let's see. Wait, what was the question again? Like,
Okay. That Thanks, Casey. How can someone find a trustworthy psychic
oh,
community or mentor?
I think that if you're here and you're already watching this, you already have a good idea. If you're looking for somebody, go to their YouTube channel, watch a couple of their videos. You can even reach out to some people in the chat and be like, "Hey, I really like this person. Has anybody here gotten a reading?" And those are the
Mhm.
best, the best and most honest is some people who um, have had help.
Mhm.
Like I said before, like my light language and other light language that I've seen on YouTube, um, that wasn't like the frequency for me. So definitely go to their YouTube channels and see if that's helpful. That's
Right.
what, yeah.
Well, just use your own instincts. This
Mhm.
is where you tell what's my psychic impression from what's my imagination.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, there's some people that I really love. And
Hmm.
like for the mini readings in the chat. Um, but there's also some people I know that could help with what I'm currently looking for
Right.
more than others.
What's
Like
the biggest,
I would say, Nancy Jean, like reach out to several different kinds of people.
or go through all the psychic profiles and see what their answers sound like to you? What's the biggest lesson you've learned on your psychic journey?
Trusting myself. Yeah, trusting myself, letting go of the things that I have no control of, and yeah, just really trusting myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the end, sweetie.
we did
We did it.
it.
Another psychic made it through and didn't die and burst into flames or anything fun.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I thank you for this opportunity because when I was learning, we didn't have this, and learning from everybody's story really helps me.
Mhm.
Yeah, the in between does suck.
Well, and that's what I learned is a lot of these questions came from questions people asked me.
Yeah.
And after my experience last June of deciding to stay or go, one of the things they said is you need to help other people understand the
Yeah.
community because I'm one of those people. I am one of those people in life. This is really true. I was standing in a grocery line on a Sunday night, just trying to pick up a couple things to take home. And this woman walked up to me and she said, I don't really have anyone to talk to, but I don't think I want to stay here. And I said, this happened to be a grocery store that had a little dining room area. So I
Yeah.
said, let's go up here and talk. So, and I've been going to this grocery store since it was built. So I just told him, watch my basket, throw it in the freezer. I'll be back.
Yeah.
And I went upstairs and talked to her and ended up talking to her about why she came up to me. Did I look like someone I was trying to figure that part out. And then finally I got who she was. And I said, look, we're going to call someone from your family. And she had a sister who came and was fortunately the good sister, not the judgmental one. And she walked her out, and it came up and thanked me kindly. And I said, because by the time we talked for a while, she realized she really didn't want to stop being. She just didn't want to be where she was right now.
So many people.
Yeah. And so, but that's been my whole life story is people come up to me and just start telling me crap that,
Yes.
I'm like, really? I used to be part of Crime Watch for the city of Dallas, and I was talking to a sergeant that I knew really well, and he said, we should have turned you into an interrogator. Because they would have just said, oh, this is a safe place, and they would have blah.
Yeah. That's
But
actually a really good idea. Put those people in the interrogation.
I can tell you from being in police stations and particularly in visiting the county jail, I will never go in another jail again. That
Mhm.
place was so spooky and haunted, and something tried to jump me. It was just awful. It was
Wow.
just no, I mean, I was working on a grand jury at the time, and it was the last day of grand jury, so they're going to give us a big tour, and they had opened a new section. It was parts of it were really cool, but the part where I got jumped wasn't. So I came back, and in the back of the grand jury room, we had our own bathroom. Um, and I had brought a big thing of lavender soap in there. And everybody would come in, after a while, and we'd hear testimony, and we'd all come back there. We'd all be washing our hands, getting that off.
Yeah. Yes.
If you ever get a chance to do that, even if you're psychic, it's a lot of fun. It's, it's interesting. You will learn a lot about yourself and about your fellow creatures around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I,
Or
yeah,
or I could just hang out with a tree.
yeah, go talk to a tree.
Gonna hang out with
Trees are different. I have my tree. I talk to my ley line tree, Hogarth. By the way, we are coming up on solstice, and he told me this is going to be an interesting solstice.
Okay.
And he knows because last time he told me that the line leading up to his tree tripled in width.
Oh
So
my. Then what I would sex. Just have sex.
you're going to have sex with your tree. I'm sure your neighbors are abused.
It's it gives like never mind, I'm not gonna go there. I'm like a 12-year-old boy. But what I was gonna say is with those feelings for the sensitive, I meant to say sensitive people here, is there's lots of gatherings online. Go gather with some people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really important. And then go have sex.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a
Not with
lovely
a
thing.
tree.
Don't pass it up every chance you get at it. Anyway, JJ, we got to get out of here.
We gotta get out of here.
YouTube's going to take us down without showing the tarot cards with titties on them.
This is gonna get really goofy.
Yes, well, it's already gotten there. And saying goodbye to everybody, and thank you all for coming. And I will see you tomorrow at 1. I have another psychic coming up. I'll post it so you can see who it is later. Bye.
Bye.